is Nanaya Edu. Welcome to the Much Ado About Nothing podcast, where I discuss what's getting people heated in the social media comment section. But sometimes it's just what's getting me heated. But yeah, this can be about pop culture, society, or politics. But before going any further, if you're new here, here's a little bit about me. So my name is Nanaya. I'm a British Ghanaian living in East London with a passion for poetry, policy, politics, and creating an inclusive and equitable society. I also love to yap and have an honorary doctorate in yapology from the Yap City University. So that's a little bit about me, but for those of you who know me, who know this podcast, who love this podcast, you're probably asking, where have you been? Girl, where have you been? Alexa, play JT Coming. But yeah, anyway, if you guys don't know what that song is, it's JT Coming by JT, and it's good. So go search it up, go listen to it. But yeah, girl, I've been working classic. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm being that kind of flaky friend who's like, oh yeah, I'm so busy. Yeah, we should definitely catch up, but I'm so busy. But yeah, literally life has been lifing, and that is okay. Because as the Bible says, for everything there is a season. And let's just say I was investing in my professional development, putting in those hours, getting that work done, getting that development done. But obviously that meant making a difficult decision and putting this podcast on pause. But I respect the choice I made, and I hope you do too. But I'm back. I don't know for how long. I can't make any promises, but I'm here in this moment, and that's what matters after all. But yeah, I think it's been like more than 6 months since we last had a catch up. So I'll try and keep this little mini recap short because, bruh, obviously so much has happened in the past 6 months plus. But anywho, we move, I guess. So it's funny, like when I was thinking of what to talk about in this recap, the main things that came to mind were holiday. Because yeah, like holiday is the highlight. But yeah, so in terms of a holiday this summer, I went to Corfu in Greece. I went to Paris, and it was pretty magical, I must say. Like both of those trips were magical in their own right, and with like completely different vibes, and I loved it. Oh yeah, in Corfu, I got to see like these little fishies up close in the sea through like my massive chunky swimming goggles, and that made me so happy. Like I was literally like buzzing with like childlike joy, because I didn't even know you could get to see fish like at the beach, just like really up close to like the shore. But yeah, I just poked my head in the water and then boom, fish, lots of them right in your face, and I was like, ah, but I was like, oh my god, my heart's beating so fast to be alive. It's magical. But yeah, that was like great. And then yeah, when I went to Paris, yeah, I sat on the metro. I ate a yummy pastries. I drank strong coffee. Parks were lovely. The art was lovely. The sculptures were beautiful. I got to go to the Musée Rodin, which I always wanted to go to. The first time I saw the clips about the museum and what was what the feel and vibe of the museum was like was actually watching Moyo Mawini's vlogs, and I was like, oh, when I go to Paris, I'm going there. Like, no two ways about that. I'm going there. I'm going to see some sculpture. I'm going to see some art. But yeah, also when I was in secondary school, like I did a GCSER, and you know when we well, if you're not familiar with it, like you do sketchbooks where you're doing studies and stuff on different art media and types Anyway, yeah. So one of the things I did was like a sketch of the fall of Icarus, and hmm, I'm not now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure if it's by Rodin, but I feel like it is. But yeah, I just remember how like enamored by the sculpture I was, and by my sketch of it, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty good. I really ate with that one. But yeah, so being able to, well, I didn't get to see it, but I got to see the, what's it called? The Thinker, the statue, the Thinker. And I also got to see, pretty sure I got to see the Kiss. But everything was good, I must say. I really enjoyed it. And then there was like a Dior exhibition, fashion show type thing. When we went, the person who was like talking, she wasn't really a tour guide, but I guess, yeah, maybe she was a tour guide, but it wasn't really like a tour, but she was just there to like provide information. And she was saying how, like, usually when fashion shows take place in Paris in like specific places and they have they put up certain displays and stuff, sometimes they leave it open for public access in like the days after the show is like taking place. I think she said something to that effect, and essentially what um I got to see was that. But yeah, the art was really cool. The stories behind them was actually really cool. I must say, like, I can be a bit of a Debbie Downer when it comes to things like, oh yeah, exclusive spaces and fashion and the fashion houses and the idea of luxury and these organizations and companies. I'm like, oh yeah, blah 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 blah. But it was really nice. I must say, I was like, ooh, pretty. Pretty, like the stories are powerful. I think in terms of the curation, a lot of the pieces were by uh black activists, female activists from the 70s or 80s. So there was like a lot of, I don't know, there was like actually like a lot in terms of not storytelling, but like the foundation of it wasn't, like, it was actually quite moving. And I didn't expect that. I went in thinking I was going to be like, oh, this is what's wrong with the world, blah, blah, blah. And I left being like, that was really moving. And I like learned a lot about that, like, artist and um, their work and their experiences and the civil rights movement, or I don't know. Yeah, just there was a story and it was like important. Basically, it was a really big, important, moving story. And I was proved wrong. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed it. But yeah. Oh, and of course, I went to Ghana. I went to Ghana with my whole family and my partner. Ooh. Ooh. But yeah, he met my dad and like other members of my extended family. And yeah, honestly, that trip left my heart so full, and it also left my tummy like overflowing with goodness. The yummy food. My heart was overflowing with yummy experiences, and my tummy was overflowing with yummy food and goodness. And yeah, God is good. I had a good time. I'm beaming just remembering everything. But yeah, obviously so much more has happened within the time that I've been away. But I guess you could say those were the highlights. Not saying there might be other things that definitely were highlights, but I can't really remember them now. But they have a special place in my heart, okay? But yeah. But yeah, there's also things that happen that I guess aren't exactly highlights, but maybe I'll delve into those at a different time. Because today we have something else we're gonna be talking about, and that's representation. Representation in media. But yeah, the question I'm posing to you all today, thesis statement. But yeah, the question is the role of each piece of media to be fully representative of the diversity which exists in society? Or maybe the question is it possible? Yeah? Maybe the question isn't even should it be? Or like, Is it possible? I don't know. But yeah, the topic of representation, it's not something that's really restricted to the media landscape. Like, it's increasingly a priority across so many industries, like even like finance, technology, and legal industries are like increasingly concerned with ensuring that diverse pe- diverse popu- diverse people, diverse populations are represented within the workplace, within the workforce, within talent pipelines. And the thing is, the conversation around diversity it's not only about like it's the right thing to do. I feel like it's even shifted beyond that. Like, we reached a point where we know, and data shows, that it is the wise thing to do to have a diverse workforce, economically speaking. I think like a study by the Boston Consulting Group actually found that companies with more diverse management teams had 19% higher revenues due to innovation. But yeah, the media industry, obviously, by virtue of being hyper visible, and being the reason why we have films and TV shows that deeply move us, because of that, I feel like we hold the media industry to a standard which is like much higher in terms of ensuring diverse representation, and understandably so. But yeah, this is a topic I find super interesting. But I feel like I've kind of been hesitant to speak on it, partially because honestly, so many things have come up that I kind of get pulled towards, and this feels like, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I just feel like this is the time I want to talk about it. But yeah, outside of it being something I'm interested in and it being like an interesting conversation, I actually came across a comment that also further inspired and drove me to make this episode. And I didn't come across this comment recently at all. I came across it maybe last year, or yeah, maybe last year. So I had to kind of go back into the archives and do a little diggy dig, and I found it. I found the comment. But yeah, let's read the comment which led me to take the bold step of making this episode. I mean, I guess we gotta start somewhere, and though she may be plus size, she's still an acceptable fat in quotation marks, and light skin, which we know media loves to use as the diversity token. This isn't the type of fat person that plays the background role as sidekick. It doesn't take away from the show's talent, but not at all fully representative of plus size. Okay, so this comment was made by someone online on Instagram in response to an article that was discussing the show by Michelle Lobuto. So Michelle, who has my heart, good God, that lady is funny. Anyway, yeah, the show in question is Survival the Thickest. It's what I would describe as a Sex and the City type show, taking us on the journey of Mavis, who's a black, plus-sized, and newly single fashion stylist, who's forced to rebuild her life after she discovers her partner, whose personal and professional life is deeply entwined with hers, has been cheating on her. So the protagonist Mavis is played by Michelle, the show's co-creator and executive producer. And interestingly enough, when doing a little bit of digging, I found out that the show is based on a collection of essays by Michelle herself. And I haven't read the book, and I didn't really intend to for this episode. I might actually take a look at it, but yeah, so since I haven't read the book, we're going to rely on Bethany, beautifully bookish Bethany, which is this person's name on Goodreads. But yeah, they offered an insight into what the book is about, and yeah, in the review, Bethany shares that in the book, Michelle talks about growing up in an immigrant family, colorism, the journey to getting comfortable in her body, having an interracial and intercultural marriage, and dealing with infertility and non-traditional paths to motherhood. So evidently this collection of essays by Michelle is quite personal, quite intimate. It delves into topics which are at times quite heavy, and overall it's quite autobiographical in nature. So the show, being inspired by that collection of essays, her story essentially, is quite autobiographical and reflective of her individual experiences. But yeah, to provide some more context about Michelle, or to paint an image of Michelle, since we're talking about representation after all, is Michelle's a curvy, light-skinned black woman with gorgeous freckles and thick curly hair. She's stunning. Um, so according to Wikipedia, she was born in New Jersey to a Haitian father and a Jamaican mother of partial French descent. So yeah, she is a light-skinned woman, like the comment highlights. But yeah, Michelle's black and she is fat, and her experience as someone who is light-skinned, and while her experience as someone who is light-skinned does mean her experiences do not necessarily mirror that of darker-skinned fat black women, she is considered fat according to Hollywood standards, so can to some degree speak on her experiences as someone who is a fat black woman, especially since um, the show focuses on the fashion industry, as she is a stylist after all. But yeah, I think I'm not gonna lie. The reason I wanted to talk about the comments because it rubbed me up, rubbed me on, rubbed me off. The wrong word, rubbed me, bro. I'm so. One thing about me, yeah, is I'm gonna be familiar with like what do you call it? Idioms or like expressions like that, like figurative expressions. But best believe I'm gonna mess up the wording. I don't, but yeah, I think best believe I'm gonna mess up the wording. But yeah, the reason I wanted to talk about the comment is it rubbed me the wrong way. And my main gripe with it is the fact that it seems to be making a critique that the show that it seems to be making a critique about like how representative the show is of like all fat black women's experiences. But the thing is, I don't think the show was made to be representative of all fat black women's experiences, because it's like a show that's directly inspired by a real person's like individual and particular experiences. Now, I haven't read the book. I wasn't in the writing room, so I actually don't know the creative liberties which were taken and how choices linked to representation were made. But what I do know though is that it's not possible for everyone's experiences to be fully represented within a piece of media. And I think representation which is inauthentic is frankly of no use to me. Be gone. I don't want it. And I know I'm not the only one who thinks that, because I feel like when representation is prioritized at the expense of the portrayal of real, perhaps complex and unrelatable experiences, you can tell. And it makes for bad TV. And who wants that? The experience of fat black women is not singular. There may be similarities, but then at a point, the shared narrative splinters. Because at the end of the day, we're individuals and we experience life as individuals. And it's those differences and nuances that make for rich, genuinely interesting storytelling. But yeah, can you tell this comment got me a bit vexed? It really did. I think another part of the reason it annoyed me and I just get a bit just not taken aback but like worked up about this topic and conversation is the fact that I feel like people from minoritized communities tend to be the ones who are unfairly assigned the task of representing their communities at all times. Now, I understand the value in it and I understand why the expectation might exist, but it's like, why do they have to represent everyone within their community at all times? And why do they have to tell stories that they might frankly not be able to tell? So like, I know like being black, there's the expectation for you to speak on behalf of black people, like positively in the terms of like, speak up for them and basically ensure that the black experience, the black story is represented. But the thing is, the black experience isn't even a singular experience. So it's like, it's an impossible challenge. It's like a standard that can never be met kind of thing. But yeah, I don't think being a black writer doesn't mean you can and should write on the experiences of black people as a collective. And when I'm saying this, I'm strictly referring to like films, TV, like maybe like visual art, poetry, media like that, like entertainment type things. I'm not talking about like political commentary or academic pieces of text which explore things like race. No, no, no. That's a completely different thing. Talking about engaging with it intellectually. I'm not saying that, oh yeah, you shouldn't talk about black people as one, because there's a way to do so within academic context which makes sense, like taking a look at the systemic issues, etc. But yeah, I think because I write, like I love poetry and I write poetry, I would hate to ever have to be in a position where my work is being criticized primarily because it fails to represent other black women's experiences who might possibly overlap with mine, but obviously not entirely. And the thing is, in terms of the way I write, I draw a lot from my life and what I know. And a lot of writers write what they know. So I feel like it's quite unfair to expect people to write about experiences that they don't and like know themselves. I don't expect, I don't know, like, okay, for example, like I'm British Ghanaian, so I'm from a working class immigrant family, and like many black Brits, my experience is one of navigating racism within this country, not feeling fully settled in my identity as British or Ghanaian. I don't feel fully, like for example, I don't feel fully Ghanaian when I struggle to get words out in my native tongue, like when I'm speaking Tree. But I do feel like Ghanaian, like super Ghanaian. Like saying this might sound really funny and like, what do you mean? Like you are. But like, that's the thing. It's like when I find myself in like a space where there's not many Ghanaian people, there's like, I feel extra Ghanaian because I feel like that degree of solidarity and my identity just feels like almost more heightened, and I feel closer to any other Ghanaian people that might be in that space, because it's like, yes, we're both speaking our native tongue in a broken way. Like the words are coming out and they're not exactly super smooth, super flowy, but like we get each other. Just like if we were to go back home and we're talking to like our families who live there, and they speak to us and they give us this, like they look at us sideways, and it's like side eye when you say things like wrongly, whether it's like choosing the right words or not pronouncing things right, and they're like let me take away your Ghanaian card real quick kind of thing. You know how like in like the US, like some African Americans are like, oh yeah, don't let me take away your black card kind of thing, or kind of thing. Well, I don't think they do. I feel like I'm referring to something that's very specific. Oh yeah, I think I'm referring to a scene in the show Superstore where America Ferrera plays Amy, and she's in the, I think in real life as well, she's like Latina, but she's playing a Latina character, and she's dating someone who's Latino, and he's really in touch with his culture, and he's like speaking Spanish with her, and she's not, her Spanish isn't great, like in her words, like she knows a bit, but yeah, and he's like like they're just flirting, and he's playing around, and he's like, don't let me take away your Latina card, and she's like, nah, like no way, like I'm so like in touch with my roots and stuff, and like she, in that moment, her identity felt unstable, even though obviously she is Latina. But do you know what I mean? Like someone, like we might belong to the same community, but our experiences are different. Like, and of course, class, like being black, working class is not the same as being black middle class, and it's not the same as being black high class. I mean, like, it's different. Like, there's similarities, there's shared experiences that kind of brings us together, holds us together. But then there's also other experiences that kind of shows the fracture within our lives, and that's just normal. But yeah, I think penalizing and criticizing people for writing from their point of view is simply not the way to go. And I don't think it's a controversial take at all. But you know, the internet is a wild place. Like the internet is the wild west these days. So anyway, yeah, be safe out there, girlies. Be safe. But yeah, if you haven't, and if you have no idea what I'm talking about, please go watch Survival of the Thickest on Netflix. Also, drum roll, please. Boom, 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 boom. I hope you're rolling the drumming the roll. Because I said drum roll. But yeah, the streets are saying a season 2 is in the works. Cue Addison Rae scream in the song that she did with Charlie XCX, the remix. I don't remember what the song is called, but she's like, yeah, cue that sound. But yeah, speaking of Survival of the Thickest, I might just have to rewatch season 1, not gonna lie. I really like it. I do. It's silly, it's light, it's funny, and it's real. It's real. Real, 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 real love. Do you guys know that song? I feel like it's one of those 2000 songs that was like it slapped, and then time moved on and we just collectively forgot about it. But yeah. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Let's all breathe in and out. But yeah, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Much Ado About Nothing podcast. If you aren't already, check out and follow my Instagram. Go do it. It's at Much Ado, ADU, Much Ado About Nothing pod. And yeah, let me know what you'd like to talk about next. I'm actually curious about what you guys are seeing. Any comments that have got you looking sideways, got you thinking side eye. If you want me to talk about it, let me know. Head to Instagram, let me know, drop a comment, not slip into my DMs. Gosh, slide into my DMs. But yeah, you can also follow me on TikTok. I wouldn't recommend it because it's a bit dead. But if that's your vibe, what's stopping you? Go follow me on TikTok. I should probably not say it's dead. Maybe now that I've said that, I'm gonna try and like prove to myself that no, it's not, and I'll put like, I don't know, add stuff, do stuff. I don't know. I've been kind of off my social media game, girl. I know. But yeah, if TikTok's more your vibe, head over there at Much Ado About Nothing pod and follow me. But yeah, most importantly, if you enjoy the episode, please do leave a review. And if you're really feeling this pod, you're like, ha 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 hee hee, or you're like, snap, 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 this girl is speaking facts, dropping gems, share it with your besties. Share it with your besties. Share it on your story. Share it on your WhatsApp status. Let your mum see. Get your mum in on the action. Get your grandma in on the action. Your grandma in on the action. And yeah, take care, and may the peace which surpasses all understanding be with you. Amen. Because life is life. The timeline is dark on the internet in terms of social media, but also in real life. It's dark times. But yeah, I'm hoping and praying that God's peace be with you in these moments. Spend time with the people you love. Check in on each other. Do things together. If you can, cook together, eat together, watch TV together, spend time in silence, sat beside each other. I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, I feel like that's a bit of a really deep, potentially heavy note to leave it on. But yeah, I am wishing you all the best and hopefully catch you later. See you soon. I don't know. I'm not gonna say next week because I don't wanna be flaky. I don't wanna be a liar. So I'm not gonna give you any expectations. Let's just keep it free, flexible, open, yeah. Let's not put in time in the calendar quite yet. Cause I'm not sure if I'm gonna be available. Let's wait till we know when. There's like a mutual time that works for both of us to check in, to circle back on that, to connect. But yeah, lots of love. Bye bye.